Alright, so I'm here with
Brannon of JFA, what's up?
Jody Foster's Army, for those of you that don't know. So for those of you those who don't know at all who you are, what's JFA?
We've been a skate punk band for about a little over 40 years. Still going strong, still skating, still playing music, working on our new album now.
That's good to hear.
Just doing what we've always done, man, same thing.
So and actually I don't fully know who Jodie Foster. I know she's an actress, and I know she played in I couldn't name a single movie she played in, but I know she's an actor. How'd that name come to be there?
So we originally called the Breakers.
The Breakers.
Yeah, because we kind of, it could be breaking surf, breaking, bottles, breaking bones, whatever. But we found out that there was another band in California, a surf band called the Breakers.
Oh,
there's a light. So we had to change our name. And we had a song at the time called Jodie Foster's Army. It was written about when it's kind of like a satire on when John Hinckley tried to kill Ronald Reagan. He said he did it for Jodie Foster. So my friend Don, our guitar player, was sitting with his friend watching TV, and they saw the news flash come on, and the guy said, "Wow, Jodie Foster has her own gun club." And Don goes, "No, she's got her own army." And so that was he decided to write a song about it. He liked to write just, messed up songs. So
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's all I ever write about. I was gonna say this, and my buddy Logan Weasel, give a shout out to him real quickly. He brought this to my attention. The guy who
John Hinckley.
Apparently he is free now, has a music career, and works at Walmart.
Yeah.
I mean, who shoots the president and then?
Yeah, I mean, he did some time for it. I mean, it's kind of a separate thing. I mean, we just really no connection there or anything. It was just like a crazy thing. Like,
yeah, I guess he was like fucked beyond out of his mind. Like he wasn't even. I think Ronald Reagan even prayed for him, and even
tell me about the young man that had done this, and what his problem was. That he was not exactly on a normal basis, and so then I added him to my prayers. That
wow, okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know what JFA stood for until probably about 10 years into listening to your band. And then I still didn't know who Jodie Foster was until I did the research. But
she's a great actress, man. You should check out some of her stuff. She's got some good films.
Remember that you're from Phoenix. What was the Phoenix punk rock scene like back in the 80s?
Phoenix punk rock scene was really strong back in the 80s, especially the early 80s, because it was a good mix of all different kinds of expression. There wasn't any kind of one formula. There's a band called International Language that was kind of like an art band, little kind of industrial art music, really cool, way out there. We had Grant and the Geezers, they were rockabilly.
The Geezers.
Yeah. We had, let's see, well, obviously the Meat Puppets, they were insane back then. No one knew what to think of them.
They are from Phoenix.
Yeah, Sun City Girls, Killer Pussy, this big tall woman, Lucy Lamoe, dressed up like a nurse and sing about teenage enema nurses in bondage. There was the Feeders, biting the heads off rats, all kinds of stuff there. The Mighty Sphincter, so it was a mix of early 80s was a mix of just all kinds of different bands. Everybody got along because punk was not accepted whatsoever by anybody. So it was pretty, people were pretty aggressive against punk rockers, all the way from like the jocks at the high school to the hippies, the cops, whatever. Everybody hated us, and they hated skating too. So we all kind of, hung out together and took care of each other, and that we had a bond. You knew somebody's not just wearing punk clothes or carrying a skateboard to be cool, because they're gonna get their ass kicked. So kind of weeded out all the posers there for a while. But
culturally, that's one of the biggest changes that obviously I wasn't there for the original days, but now you'll get your ass beat if you try to beat up someone who looks like that. Like these days, you can't even everybody looks that way nowadays.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody's got tattoos, you know, it's not even a thing anymore, you know, so, but whatever, you know, it's accepted. You go out, you can play, you know, play a lot of people. If you're a skateboarder, you're going to get paid, you know, just like, I mean, almost like a pro, I don't know, not quite a pro basketball player, but you know what I mean? Like, you're going out there, you're putting yourself in real harm, you know, you're just getting paid for it. We just did all that stuff for the fun of it, and we still do. You know what I mean? That's kind of what separated us from a lot of other bands that have broke up or, like, you know, done stuff because they thought they had to make money. We didn't really care about making money. But money's nice,
Yeah.
you know, but we're just out there to have fun and do our thing. So
That's one thing I was gonna say is JFA legal abortions. There's a handful I can name, but I've noticed that there's been a resurgence of there's been Greg Gaffin of Bad Religion said it best. There's bands who've been putting out material and doing stuff since back then, and then there's the put out a hit, you know, put out a 7-inch in 81 and then sees everybody else doing it and come back. And I've noticed your band is one of you've been consistent. That's what I've been trying to say.
Yeah.
That's the C word there.
Yeah, no, we never broke up. We've been playing pretty much straight through. You know, there was a time there when we were pretty underground just because the whole scene, what we were doing was underground. So
And you've been able to keep that, though.
Yeah. But I mean, like, unless you were at some backyard pool party in the 90s, empty pool party, then you probably thought we broke up, but we never did.
What's it like back then compared to now, seeing the different... Obviously, you've got your diehards who go to your shows throughout the years, you're returning. The people who have been coming to your shows since day one, the regular faces that show up, them getting older, bringing their kids, the generations, like, what's that feel to you knowing that, like, let's say some guy brings his daughter with him and it's like, yeah, you're the same age. Years ago, you were chilling with him in the backyard and now, you know, his daughter's with him. Like, how's that feel?
Well, it's a continuum of time, you know. I mean, I don't feel like I mean, it's cool seeing somebody, and I'm glad to see that they're, you know, he's still out there and his daughter's on. I mean, that's super cool, but I don't get like, oh, I used to be that, you know. I don't get caught up in that, you know what I mean? It's like, just, it is what it is, you know what I mean? But, no, it's cool, man, and it's actually cool that skateboarding's going strong and punk is going strong, and to know we had some small part in that evolution is good, because, I mean, when the music back when we came just sucked. So that's kind of why we did it. We kind of had to play music because there wasn't that much good music to skate to. So now there's plenty of good stuff out there now.
Did JFA ever smoke any weed?
No, I mean, you know, a little here and there experimental stuff, and you know, we hung out with a lot of people, but not really.
Well, I asked that because they say you listen to an album 3 times. You listen to it when you're sober, you listen to it when you're drunk, and when you're stoned. And I listened to Untitled, the JFA album Untitled, for the first time while I was stoned earlier. And I gotta say, man, I know JFA is experimental, but I feel like I just really zoned into it. Like, I don't want to say funk, but I could really feel a Phoenix, Arizona sort of vibe coming from what I was listening to. Like, I kind of imagine...
There's a big Phoenix vibe for sure, man.
I know, that's what I was saying. Like, after really listening to it again and thinking about that and just thinking about the deserts and the regions, I kind of a mirage type of feeling from some of the songs. And even with the hardcore stuff, I describe things in a strange way.
No, that's cool.
What venues from back in the 80s in Phoenix do you recall playing at the most, or that are still there or not there?
Well, nothing's really there anymore that was there. Madison Square Gardens, Mad Gardens was where we played our first show. Well, our first record release was for Blatant Localism. That was a really cool club. It was actually a wrestling rink, and so the bands played in the middle of the wrestling rink. That was crazy. We had some crazy times. Salty Dog was kind of smaller version of that, came a little later. Mason Jar was a club that, you know, they had all kinds of rock and stuff, and then we played a bunch of little just hole in the walls there and got kicked out for life, banned for life, you know.
Oh shit, what for?
Yeah, well, for slam dancing, because the punks hadn't even seen slam dancing.
Oh,
when we started, they were all just into pogoing and, you know, and wearing leather jackets and stuff. So when our friends started slamming to our music, you know, there were some fights. You know, there's some. What the fuck you doing, man? Leave me alone, hey! You know.
That's awesome. Do you know how long has it been since you've been to Phoenix?
Oh, not too long, about a year maybe. Try and get out there pretty regularly.
What's the punk rock scene today there like?
There's a lot of good stuff still going on. Our original bass player has a band called the Father Figures.
Awesome. I was gonna ask, if somebody, I'm actually, when I get my oil change tomorrow, I'm going back to Phoenix on my way to Alabama, and where should I go if I want to see a show or something?
I don't know, man. I haven't been. Yucca Tavern, it's a bar. They sometimes have shows, but I don't really know too many. Fat Great Cat's a good band out there.
Fat Great Cat.
Yeah. I'm not sure, man.
So you know how I asked you about Zia when I was there? So I was a little disappointed because I was trying to find some. I still don't have that JFA tape. Is the only JFA anything that I have.
Shoot. Wow.
I searched all the record stores there because I was like, Phoenix, JFA's here. They have nothing.
Oh, yeah,
not a CD, not a record. And I was like,
hard to find,
God damn. And what's worse than that is the owner of the store didn't even know who JFA was.
That's okay, man.
And I was like,
those who know don't tell. Those who tell don't know.
I know it made me sad though. Cause like they're from here, and I would have bought that. Yeah, that's the only thing I have.
Well, I'll sign it up for you.
Hell yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a place in Bristol, England. It's super cool, called Dean Lane Hardcore. It's like total do-it-yourself spot.
I will treasure this.
Yeah, here, let me open it up. But it's a total, skate spot. They just built it all themselves and made a pretty rad. Sticker and here, let me see. These are some of the bands we played with when we played Bristol, but they just have a rad old time out there. I think that's from when we played the club. We got 3 songs on that, and then just
who designed that the stylish the logo there?
A guy named Andy from the not the Nova Boys. It'll come to me, but one of the local Phoenix bands. We wore a lot of Paisley shirts because, or I did, because after a while, punk rock wasn't about doing whatever you want or wearing whatever you want. Everybody had like kind of a uniform or like, jeans and, spiky clothes and stuff. So we said, well, if that's what everybody says punk rock is, and punk's about being different, then let's be totally different,
Thank you.
So, yeah.
I was going to ask him, I forgot to ask this during the call, Turkey and the UFO.
Yeah.
That is such a...
Yeah, no, that song's, it's Turkey in the House? No, that's a damn song. Turkey into something. And then we put some weird guitar to it too. Yeah.
Yeah. After I got the phone, I was like, "Oh shit! I was gonna ask you about Turkey and UFO." Like when I heard that. So the first time I played this cassette tape, I was in my garage in Illinois, and I think I had only heard "We Know You Suck" before, because I've been trying. If I could find that CD, I would pay some good money for that CD. I put that in there, and I had never really heard the entire album, and I was already high on weed. And that just kind of just scented.
Yeah, weird.
I was like, holy shit, they just went from trippy psychedelic.
Turkey in the Straw. It's Turkey in the Straw is the old traditional American song that I'm playing the piano on. But then the sound of the guitar is like the turkey gets sucked up into the UFO. It gets abducted.
That's awesome.
So, anal probing on the turkey up there,
What are these some shows you recently played?
They're just random. So yeah, mostly recent. That picture right here, this is a guy, Sam Esmore drew this. He's a really, really good skater, really amazing artist. He did that for AZPX Skateboards. It's our friends up there in Phoenix. Super killer dude.
So you said you have a new album that you're planning on making?
Yeah, we're gonna try and finish recording it this year. It's just been a little slow, so that's like what we're focusing on.
Oh shit, that's Tiananmen Square.
What's that?
Is that a Tiananmen Square down there?
I think so. I didn't make the flyer. Taco. That's the original guitar player for the Vandals band. Super good.
What's it like surfing around here? I thought about trying to do it, but I'm a little too paranoid about it.
Yeah, no, it's crowded. It's you know, kind of dog eat dog out there. But you know, it's good if you get it, get a good wave, you know.
Do you do more surfing or skating these days?
Probably about the same. You know, I do both as much as I can.
I wish I was more deep into it because I've just never been good at skating. Like every time I've tried to do it, I've miserably failed so bad, and so it's kind of not hard to sit there and watch people who are super good at it, but it's just like, you know, it's like I can't do it, so it's like I don't want to watch something just to piss myself off.
Yeah, just have fun, man. That's all it's about.
But I'm pretty good at rollerblading though.
There you go.
Yeah, I went down to the pier a couple of times, and them surfers, just watching them catch the wave, falling off of, and just going in it, like, even after dark, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, a little less crowded after dark, so.
Have you surf after dark at all?
Not too much, no. A little bit when I was in San Francisco, but that's when the sharks come out to feed, and that's the red triangle out there, so it's not.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a little bit risky.
And who did you say drew that artwork on there?
That one was Susan Weber drew that.
And who is she?
She was she went out with Don for a while. Don went out with her. The artist.
Oh, nice.
And Phoenix. Sister named Karen. She's cool too.
Was Todd Barnes ever a member of Jodie Foster's Army?
We practiced with him one time at his house.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, but that was it.
How'd that come about? And
we were in between drummers, and you know, he was definitely a great drummer, but kind of lived too far away at the time.
Oh, really?
Cool to play with him.
Do you remember what year that would have been?
Maybe 89-ish. Maybe 88, 89, 83. 88 maybe.
Yeah, so that would have been years after him and Jack left TSOL the first time.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Wow. So other than JFA, what other bands have you been in?
Oh, just some little small things. I did something with these guys just because. I did a thing called the Carb Liners, Riding with Santa.
Riding with Santa.
Yeah, it's a kind of a punk rock pool skating Santa song, so just in time for Christmas.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so check that out. It's on Spotify. It's Riding with Santa.
You know what's funny about Christmas songs? So regular Christmas songs, like I can't stand listening to Christmas carols. Whenever a punk rock band does it usually sounds good. Like, have you heard of X's Little Merry Xmas 2000?
No.
It's only digital. They never released it physically, but yeah, Billy Zoom and all them in 2009 they released a little Christmas EP. But Riding with Santa by you said the
Carb Liners.
Carb Liners. I will look that up.
It's on Spotify. Cool, man.
Thank you so much for meeting up with me and spoiling.
That's pipeline. That's the Mount Baldy pipeline. That's Julian Stranger jumping that gap. That's how you have to get in and out. If you miss that jump, there's like broken bottles and rocks and stuff at the bottom. It's just not a good thing.
Oh man. In Phoenix and here in Southern California, where's the best place to shred it up back then and today?
I mean, there's a million different places, you know. The backyard pool. There's one in San Juan Capistrano. It's pretty good. So it was like deep end was like a capsule, and then it had this long shallow end. You see some photos of Dwayne skating there. A lot of good skate parks, Marina Del Rey, Colton, Whittier, Skate City. That's where street skating was invented. John Lucero.
In Whittier?
Yeah, Whittier.
I've been up there.
And the parking lot. You know, a lot of natural stuff, pipes all over it. You know, the pipes are mostly in Arizona. We had a lot of good pipes. Yeah.
So when you skated the pipes, would you like go like that inside of them if they were big or?
we would try and go as high as we could. No one really went all the way around until about probably 2000 something, 3, 4, 5, when Bob Burnquist went for it in the Mount Baldy pipeline. I don't think he made the picture I saw, but he went for it, and that was insane. But now, you know, a lot of people are doing it because they figure out, I mean, hardest thing is being the pioneer to do something, you know, especially now with video. Once people can just watch it in slow-mo, they A, know that it can be done.
Yeah.
And B, can figure out, you know, how to do it. But, you know, until someone has done it, it's impossible, you know what I mean?
I think it was Tony Hawk I watched do this. I mean, I know he's getting older now, but Tony Hawk, there was a ring.
Yeah, Dwayne Peters actually did that first in the 80s. But that's not a pipe. That's kind of like a loop.
Yeah, watching. I sat there for hours and I watched Tony Hawk. He had this big party where people were doing it, and I just watched people smash. Like, oh! There was this little kid. He went, and he did it.
Yeah.
But he didn't land on the cushion. He landed on the ground. I was like, ow!
I'll see a lot of skaters just like you watch that stuff and figured out, you know, how to do it. You know, we didn't have videos back then, so we just had to go for it. You know.
Yeah, but I love the speed and I love doing tricks and all that, and I mean, I'm good on rollerblades. It's just for some reason skateboards and me just what happens is, like, let's say I'm going down the street on a skateboard, I'll be good, and then suddenly I'll just lose my focus and I'll just it's just like that.
Yeah, muscle memory, bro.
Have you ever have the police ever busted a JFA show before or shut a JFA show down?
Yeah.
Oh God.
A couple times.
A couple times.
Yeah, first time we played LA, we played was us, the Lewd, Bad Religion, and the Bad Brains.
The Lewd.
Bad Brains played and played LA, and
the first time they played LA.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
82, I think. And people didn't know what to expect. They were so good, man.
God
damn.
damn.
The cops were just out on Melrose Boulevard as far as you could see in both ways, just cops. Cops didn't like punk rockers back then. They just like, yeah.
I actually have a good question about police and punk nowadays. So politically I'm neutral on this topic, but I just want to know your opinion. Vaccine passports required for shows. Like, what's your take on that? It kind of just reminded me of that.
There's been a lot of, we've gone through a lot of epidemics for centuries, and it's been pretty much shown, like polio was defeated with the vaccine. A lot of things were defeated with the vaccine. There are always people who said, no, I don't need it, or it's witchcraft, or whatever they're saying. And, yeah, and those were kind of the ones that, you know, died, a lot of them. So I would like us to get back to normal, and the only way to do that is for people to get vaccinated and not be stupid.
I mean, yeah, but do you support the idea that shows should, like, let's say, I went to Amoeba Hollywood earlier, actually, and I mean, I'm fully vaccinated, I got the report card, but when I went to the door, it was, show me your paper.
They're doing that, we was just in New York, they're doing that everywhere, man, and it's like, you don't want people getting sick, you know, I mean, why are people going to be so selfish that they're going to, you know, take the chance of, A, getting the disease and giving it to someone else, or B, getting the disease, have it mutate, and then have it kill everybody, you know, a lot of people. And the only way to stop that is to get vaccinated and stop it in its tracks. So, you know, it's not, it's been done, we've been down this road as civilization before. We just haven't had the level of stupidity that we do nowadays.
Well, the core question that I'm getting here is, it's not the vaccine, it's the whole venues requiring attendees to show the papers. Like,
if you don't want to go in, then don't go in. It's a private business. You know.
There we go.
It's if you don't like it, go have your show with, you know, whatever, man. It's not infringing. You can't make somebody a private business owner. You know, if they're paying the rent on the club, they're paying the bands. They get to decide how much they charge. They get to decide if you know. The dress code,
Yeah,
whatever. You know what I mean? So, and if they want to make sure that you're not, you know, infecting somebody else, you know, out there, then that's their right, man.
And just to add one more question on that, to any punks who would say, well, man, that's not punk rock because that's the government. Why should punk be allowing the government?
It's not punk rock. It's not punk rock. That is the in those cases, it's the club owner saying that. And that the club owner, you know, you can do whatever the hell they want.
Well, they got to protect their business, obviously.
Yeah.
But thank you, that. But I've been wanting to ask a kind of a punker who's been part of the scene for a long time that, because I know a lot of, I mean, I'm fully vaccinated, so I'm not going to lie. When I went to Amoeba earlier, I didn't have my paper on. I didn't know they wanted to see it at the door, and I got a little pissy. I was like, I'm only being for a minute. She's like, sir, we need to see your paper. I was like, God damn it.
I mean, that's, you know.
So I had to walk back and get it, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you go into a fancy restaurant and they say you got to wear a tie, you know, and you're like, oh, fuck you, I don't want a tie. Well, then go somewhere else. Go to Okie Dogs. They don't want to make you wear no ties down at Okie Dogs.
Okie Dogs.
Yeah.
That's under no effects. What is that place?
It's a place in Hollywood, in Fairfax. There's two of them, and they make Okie Dog, man. It's a big.
It's a food.
Yeah, it's an Okie Dog, big tortilla, chili, 2 hot dogs, cheddar cheese, grilled onions, all wrapped up in one.
So that's what No Effects is talking about. See you all at Okie Dogs.
They were ripping off the germs. Darby was having Okie Dogs before that. Yeah, that's don't give Darby some credit, man.
You want to know something kind of interesting? So, did you know that Darby was gay?
Yeah.
I didn't know that till just recently. So I don't show this to too many people, but can you see, like, right there, a little bit of markings?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 15, 16, I was really depressed and on the edge, and, well, I carved Darby's name into my arm. Had nothing to do with homosexuality. It had to do with depression. But I just found out yesterday that he was gay, and that's the reason he killed himself, and I was like...
I don't think anybody knows why he killed himself.
Well, okay, someone told me that that's one of the reasons that led to his depression.
Yeah, hard to say.
But I was just like, damn, that's, kind of gives even more meaning to that scar. Yeah. I mean, should I have done that? I mean, the nice thing is, unlike this being an accidental tattoo, you can't see that unless you really try to see that. That's the only nice thing about it, because how many punk rockers do you know back then that got an accidental tattoo and regretted it?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably
a lot more today.
Damn. So you're in Huntington Beach now. How long you been around here for?
About 20 years.
Oh shit! Wow, been a long time. I think I was able to squeeze a good amount of access questions in there. Is there anything else you want to add to this?
No, man, doing good. Yeah, thanks for the support, man. Appreciate it.